I'm trying to do this now because I've had it in my head all day. Um, but hi, this is Ianifa Onwini Adina Bakomi Shampo, and I've seen this question circulating, and I've answered it from my own lineage journey on lives, but I realized I have never done like an individual video answering the question. And the question is about beginning the journey in Orisha tradition with Ifa. And so I just wanted to do, I'm not going to say quick video, just a video to kind of do it from my perspective. So one of the things that I would suggest is understanding, one, there are multiple Orisha traditions. And I think that's the thing. Everyone explains it from their own tradition and their own lineage. And I think one of the things that needs to be said is there are multiple. There is no way. There is no the way. There are many ways to come to the tradition. And each path has its own medicine. Each lineage has its own medicine. And so it's important for you to, as you're learning about the Orishas, as you're learning about Ifa, as you're learning about West African culture, religion, or any spiritual practice from an African sense, that you learn about the various ways that it manifests, especially if you're in the diaspora. Because of the transatlantic slave trade, there are so many different versions, not versions, but children from the original tradition. That's what they are. The derived religions are the children of the mother religion that was originally on the continent. So determining whether it is the mother religion that you need, do you need it from the continent? Do you need it from someone within the diaspora? There are many pieces to that equation. So that's one of the things that I would consider, but it's not where I would stop. As you are doing that work, I would say Ori work. So what is your Ori? In a very literal sense, in Yoruba the word means head, but it is your consciousness. Not just your consciousness, it's your destiny, and it is the aspect of yourself that is aware of its relationship, your relationship, it's you. The part of you that knows that you are one with the Most High, with the Creator, with Source, with Olodumare, with God, whatever nomenclature resonates with you. Building a relationship with yourself, what it will do is put you more in alignment with your destiny, and thus it is your destiny to then practice directly any African spiritual practice. You will be more in line with the energy that you need to be in, so that you are attracting the lineage, the elder, the path in which you are meant to follow in order to have the best relationship and receive the medicine in the way that you're most aligned to receive that medicine. Because you can receive it in a multitude of ways, but that may not be for you. When I first started learning about Ifa, and I was watching content creators and book authors and things like that, I would say 98% of them practice Lakumi, Santeria, some variation thereof. But I don't. I ended up finding an elder and an Ile that was more traditional Isheshe, and it was an Ile of nothing but womb holders, which meant she was birthing nothing but Ias and an Awo. That, at the time, was important to me. That was revolutionary, and that meant a lot. That was where my medicine needed to come from, because I was doing work to bring balance to my divine feminine. So being able to be in that space and be held in that way, and also not be limited in any way based upon my gender, that was significant. So, that was important. The other relationship, and had I not been doing Ori work, it may not have worked out that way. Because the Ori work put me in a position to where, when it was finally time for me to hear the words, yes, it is an alignment for you to initiate, I was ready to hear the words. I was absolutely ready to hear the words. And I wasn't like, I wasn't looking for a title. The title just happened to be what was destined for me, but I wasn't looking for a title. I wasn't even looking to initiate. What I was looking for was just to understand why the Orisha were calling to me the way, and so directly and loudly, the way they were calling to me. I just wanted to understand that. And when I finally met my godmother, which I'll do something else to talk about how she came about, it was like she did the divination, and her exact words were, "You are already living Ifa." And that's the other piece of it. You can be living Ifa and never initiate. If you understand the principles of Ifa and the world truth of Ifa, you can be living in that energy and not initiate. So again, it's a matter of, are you meant to initiate? Are you simply meant to receive the medicine that Ifa has, even if you never initiate? I have godchildren. They're not, even if it comes up, they're not rushing. They're not trying to collect anything. It's not a race. They are simply enjoying the relationship that they are establishing within themselves and thus establishing with the tradition, but they're just not in a space of becoming an official devotee through Hand of Ifa or taking it a step further and going to receive any orishas or anything like that. They are simply they're simply living Ifa. They're simply living it. You can go and get all the titles, shrines, and things of that nature, and you still not be living Ifa. But they are living it. And that's the most beautiful thing. Anything else is simply going to be a bonus. They are already in their Ejiobe energy, and that is the most beautiful part of it. So, next is your ancestors. Your ancestors are going to help you align to the tradition or traditions that are most meant for you in your wellness and your destiny and how you are supposed to move in this world. Okay, so yes, your ancestors. Starting a practice of ancestor veneration and really building a relationship with your ancestors is the next part, the next phase. So you've started doing the work with yourself. When you do Ori work, you should be doing self-love work because that's what Ori work is. So then you're doing the work with your ancestors, which is also another layer of self-love work. So when you're doing that, again, you're aligning your energy to your ancestors, which in turn aligns you to traditions and practices that inherently your ancestors may have practiced, and that way you can feel through which ones are meant for you in this lifetime, which ones have the medicine that is going to support you in aligning to your favorite destiny in this lifetime. So you're doing all the self-love work, you're doing the inner work and things of that nature. If your intention, and it is in alignment with your destiny, to go to one of the Orisha traditions, there is going to be one that calls out to you loudly. Because all while you're doing this, you're doing your research, learning about the different lineages, elders that are out there, ones that are here, or well, I'm saying here because I'm in the States, but wherever you are, you're learning about who's available to you, who you can connect with, who speaks your language, who is a good teacher. Because once again, just because a person is a good awo, meaning they are an excellent diviner, does not mean that they are going to be a good elder, teacher, mentor, guide for you. Ideally, they would be both, because there's some people who are great teachers, but they're okay as a diviner. So you decide, do you want someone as a diviner? Do you want a teacher? Do you want someone that is strong in both? The more you articulate to your Ori and your ancestors what it is that you want in an elder in your spiritual journey, the more you're going to align to who it is that you're supposed to connect with. Once you are sure you've been doing this work for a while, then get a divination. Notice I said do all this work first, then get a divination. Get a divination and say, okay, who is, what is your destiny with this tradition? And allow your discernment to speak for you. Are they going to say something simply because, oh yeah, you're going to have to pay for these ceremonies, blah, blah, blah? Or is there a genuine connection to the tradition that warrants you taking further steps? Because again, you can receive the medicine of the tradition, not be aligned to initiate, and still get what you need. So yeah, I just wanted to answer from that perspective, because a lot of people talked about building a relationship with the Orisha. Notice I didn't mention that. I mentioned the tradition, because the relationship with the Orisha